Hello, paranormal fans. This is Mark Drotis, paranormal suspense author. Are you looking for a good scare? Something that will challenge your thoughts about ghosts and hauntings? If so, read The Haunting of Crimshaw Manor and find out what happens when a paranormal club investigates a mysterious haunted house where shadow figures are seen, screams heard, and an undeniable torment is revealed. The Haunting of Crimshaw Manor is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or wherever scary books are sold. And don't forget to listen to Ghost in the Valley podcast with Al Cooley. Both will give you chills and keep you up at night.
Welcome to Ghost in the Valley podcast. I'm your host, Al Cooley. Today I have the second part of my interview with Haley Staack. She is a psychic medium. She is a paranormal investigator, a photographer, a hairdresser, and an earth witch. In my last conversation with Haley, parts of that interview mysteriously end up missing. It was in a separate file, and it was in there backwards, which has never happened to me before. This is common with so many weird things happened, but this is the first time it's happened to me as far as the audio being flipped around. But it all worked out. I've got it fixed. It's going to be coming up right after these brief messages. I'll be right back with my conversation with Haley Staack.
This is Weird on the Rocks, a podcast that explores the weird, unusual, strange, and unexplained, all while getting our drink on. Join me every other Monday as I share a different cocktail and discuss true crime, paranormal stories, unexplained phenomena, conspiracy theories, and much more. Find Weird on the Rocks on social media, the website weirdontheRocks.weebly.com, and listen on all of your favorite podcast apps. And don't forget to cheers and stay weird.
I didn't get to the question I wanted to get to, and that was the about your haunted items you collect. Because I was looking for people with haunted dolls.
Yeah.
And I came across, like Robert the doll in Florida.
Oh, yes.
And some of the stories behind that, and a few other. I forget the girl doll.
Oh, Peggy, right? Isn't it Peggy?
The one, yeah, the one you have to be nice to her, and I think it's the same, almost the same thing as like Robert. You have to ask if you can take their, I don't think you can take their picture. Not sure.
I think it's Peggy that's in Zach Bagan's haunted museum we saw. And listen, they say don't look her in the eye, and I'm not going to test fate. I walked by her and said, "Thank you, Peggy. Have a good day."
Right. I don't know. I don't know about that. So and another thing, people that seem to want to rush to the conclusion, like in an investigation, that it's a demon. And I'll tell you quite frankly, I've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
I haven't yet, maybe once, come across something that was demonic, and I don't deal with that. But, I think a lot of these TV shows you have on TV, and they want to hype their show and making everything demonic. You got an angry spirit or ornery spirit, and they want to jump to the conclusion that, well, it's demonic, well, it's not.
I'm the same way when I watch them.
When I did my documentary, I did a documentary called Ghost in the Valley 20-some years ago. And I can tell you, on one bridge, I was doing some filming, and my whole crew went up the hill, and I'm stuck down in a gully by myself, just some extra shots. And that's when I was pushed from behind.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And so you're thinking, okay, like your husband, this stuff, this isn't real. But I knew from growing up on a haunted house what is and what is not. I could, when somebody pushes you.
You do know. Yeah.
When somebody flicks your ear or you hear a growling sound. There's nothing there.
Yes.
That's why I say sometimes your body's the biggest tool, because you might not get that on a piece of equipment, but you can get like some voices maybe you don't hear with the human ear.
And like I said, like I use the equipment at my house, even with and it's communicated things that I do believe it was accurate. But again, I still trust what I get more personally with them, even over that.
Right. Yeah. And I'm getting back to your haunted equipment. What have you been collecting?
Currently, I have 2 or 3 dolls, a few haunted photos, and a haunted Ouija board by accident. So which was so ironic. I'm like, "Ugh, this wasn't even fun to say because everyone's gonna think I'm just saying it's a haunted Ouija board."
Why would it be haunted?
I brought it home. I was antiquing and I just saw an old one and was like, "I've really been wanting to collect one of those old ones." So I grabbed it and got home and I noticed some extra energy around the house the next few days. And I'm like, what the heck is, I knew I bought 2 haunted objects and those were fine. And I'm like, yeah, but there's something else. And turns out it was a previous owner of one of the boards.
And you looked at history of the Ouija board, why they were made,
Mhm.
and then they started using them for contacting the dead for Civil War people that died,
Mhm.
and so they never had closure.
Yeah.
They started contacting that way. But there was boards before the Ouija board, that did the same thing.
Right, right.
I was just curious, like what items you actually collected and why would they be haunted?
Yeah, I have one of the dolls, the clown doll, after what little he'll give me, he hated the clown when he was alive. And so it's kind of like a self-torture. He kind of put himself to something he hates because he thinks he's so bad and kind of makes me sad. And then I have a haunted album. It's a family photo album. And I haven't figured out who's with it yet, but I hear voices talking from that, which the lady had warned me. She's like, "Are you sure? This thing's pretty active." I keep it in a case and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure. Like, it doesn't feel bad. I'll take it." And I got home and let me tell you, the voices are there. And I don't know if it's multiple or if it's almost like, I think it's a spirit. I don't want to call it residual, but they talk and there's voices that are not us.
And yet probably your husband has never heard any of this.
He's heard the voices one time and he keeps going, "It was you." And I'm like, "I was not talking. I was staring at the wall." Like I was going to sleep. That was not me.
I have crosses all around me, because when I go into a place for that's either I'm investigating with some other people. I don't have my own investigation team. I never have.
Right.
I've always went with other people or on my own. And my friend of mine years ago during my documentary, he actually made his own piece of equipment that he went and
Oh,
had
yeah?
patented. It was kind of like combining everything, and even to the part of having a sensor in there, like dowsing rods,
Yes, yes.
so he could detect energy underneath the ground. It was really a cool piece of equipment. And he came up, and it took him years to develop this thing. Turns out, long story short, somebody stole his patent, went to court over it, but it wasn't worth going to court over.
Right, right. Oh, that sucks for him and put so much work into it.
Right, because
Oh,
you have to. I mean, really have to watch who you say stuff to, and put
yeah.
out. Unfortunately, there's people out there who will steal your stuff in a heartbeat.
I think that's so sad too, especially in a community that we have so much growth and to learn in this field. I mean, we don't know everything and
Have you ever used dowsing rods?
I have. Those are fun to use. I'm a hit or miss with them. Sometimes I can connect really good, but I'll disassociate really far when I'm investigating and connecting. So I try to reel back in with those can get me far.
My great grandfather tried to teach me years ago, and I wasn't good at all. I mean, I was just a little guy, and he was going out back, look for water.
I was gonna say he was going for water.
He was going for water, looking, he couldn't dig as well, and of course it was the old type, with a stick and like a
Mhm.
fork stick,
Yeah.
and it went down to the ground where the water was. It took him like
Mhm.
maybe 10 minutes, but he found the exact spot where he wanted to dig the well, and lo and behold, that's where the water was. He said, "You try it,"
Yes.
and I tried it, and nah, just. And here, just a couple of years ago, we had a seminar at our local library. The person there demonstrating all the paranormal equipment. Of course, I knew a lot of it, spirit boxes. And I never really got the hang of the dowsing rods. I'm like, I want to do this again. 60 some years later, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, oh, I'll try it again.
How'd it
And
go?
it didn't go.
I'm not that great with them either. It's a hit or miss. I think you have to have the, like, broad gift to be able to use
Yeah,
those.
yeah. Yeah, I think so. So it wasn't for me. You said you had an album or something?
Yeah, the haunted album. Again, it's pretty active. That one comes with the voices, and she wasn't lying about that. And I also got a haunted photo from her when I was walking out of her. She owns a store, and I was walking out. She said, "I can't get rid of this photo, and he gives me the creeps. My gift to you today. Good luck." Well, her and I became friends, and so I've kept up with her about it, but he is like a military guy and he is
Mm.
attached to it, and he's actually pretty chatty compared to the others. He likes to use the K2 machine, and he'll actually come over the spirit box, and his voice is consistent and he actually answers very well. He also prefers he's more chatty if you give him a shot of whiskey.
Oh, okay.
So my friend, when Megan comes over, he loves talking to Megan. So whenever she comes over, she always brings a shot of whiskey for him, and they will sit and chat.
Consider yourself an earthbound witch.
Mhm.
What's your view on like curses?
Oh, they're real. They can
So
happen.
if not, now I heard this from other witches on my
Mhm,
show that
mhm,
you could put a curse on somebody,
mhm.
but you don't do that because this can come back around on you.
I'm a firm believer in that. How I look at witchcraft is people can do that. I believe it's about balance. I believe in the term, pardon my French if this is okay, but I believe in the fuck around and find out method.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do harm to anyone, but I also have no problem protecting myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the average person, it's balance. And I do believe they can happen. I don't think it's as often as people think, because sometimes I think if you just have bad intentions of someone, a mean thought, you can kind of send them bad will, you know? But to put into a full hex or curse, that's a lot of energy. And kudos if you want to do that. But that'd have to be somewhat, I don't know. That's a lot of my energy. I don't know if I want to waste.
Yeah, because my last guest I think it's on the episode we just released a couple days ago. I'm not sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
He was talking about he made a voodoo doll,
Mhm.
and I said, well, you made this voodoo doll for somebody. So
Yeah.
who was you trying to get?
Yeah.
And he said, and since he did that, all
Mhm.
this bad shit came back on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so he says you got to watch that.
I think it'll come back if they don't deserve it. Of course, we think people deserve something. You know what I mean? Like we're human. We're in the human experience, and we get mad at people. But you can't just go around throwing curses at just someone who makes you mad. I
You're
mean,
right.
'cause I think it will come back and bite you in the butt.
So yeah, I got a few I can put out there.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, well, I was curious about that, because being a witch, so you would consider yourself a pagan?
No, I wouldn't say. That's been such a new term for me lately with how I've learned with connect, and I grew up very Southern Baptist, so actually
And that really has come across me more often than you think lately.
yeah,
That's what I love about this podcast. I learn off all my guests.
yeah,
Earthbound witch, I love that.
mhm,
That's the
and I
first time
was
I think you used that term. I didn't know what a fey witch was until last year, and the woman on my show is from my state of
oh,
Ohio, and
yes.
I have her coming back on. So I didn't know about fey and the little people.
Oh, you don't know about the little I've seen the little people, and listen, that's a story that'll trip you out.
Yeah, in the Native American folklore, they can be little
Oh,
bitches.
yeah. Oh, they listen, all I'll say is this, you have to be cautious how you work with them if you work with them because they are a little tricky.
Right. You think, oh, they're so cute, and but no, I don't.
Dunno.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I love learning, and
You do have wonderful people on here. I've learned a lot listening to the podcast, like
even like I had one the team on here, and they were from down south, and he says, "Do you know?" He was talking about a wood booger. And
yeah,
I said I never
woolly
heard.
booger.
Yeah, right. Woolly booger or wood booger.
Wood
And
booger.
I had no idea what that is. Y'all don't know what a wood booger is. I said, I don't. My family's from the south, and oh, it's Bigfoot. So
Yes.
yeah, I love learning UFOs and
Oh, yes.
submergible objects that go, how they go underwater. And I even have that in my book. My friend throughout my book is, connected with the UFOs,
Yes.
and I'm
Oh,
connected
yes.
with ghosts and spirits. So
Is your friend a starseed?
how I wasn't understanding his point of view, he wasn't understanding mine. And I said, how can I say you're wrong? then I'm right.
Mhm.
So, and also the black-eyed kids.
Oh, yes.
So I'm just getting on that, and 411 cases, and there's so much out there. Paranormal is the unexplained.
I agree. I think it's a very diverse group, and you can really break it down into small branches, or it's a big umbrella. Like, it's a big umbrella.
Yeah, and there's a curse. Forget the conjuring chest, or that's man, my mind's gone today. It's like, and it's a curse on it's from he was a slave owner. His name was
Mhm,
Cooley,
mhm.
and so through the Cooley family, and I'm a
Yeah.
Cooley,
Yeah.
and I have relatives in this area because I have my family tree, and so where these curses are is part of my family. So
Oh my gosh.
I want to go down. I believe it's in. I have to look it back up because I did it a couple years ago. I can't think of it. It's in Tennessee, I believe. There's a
Mhm.
museum, and they keep it locked up, so you can't see the chess
Okay.
that he made. And it's if you get a chance, look it up on Google.
I'm going to. Yes,
It's
I'd
it's
love
a
to go visit.
it's a very interesting curse. Yeah,
You need
you
to
know.
come visit, that way you can break it, right?
Yeah, and I'm afraid I don't know.
Or don't come near it, that way it doesn't
Or
attach to
change
you.
my last name when I go there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They might know. So anyway, yeah, I want to thank you for coming on, and I wanted to touch on a couple of those things, especially with the
Yeah.
you said you were a Baptist growing up.
Oh, yes.
Do you still consider yourself a Baptist, or
I'm figuring everything out what I believe. I believe there's a higher power of some sort, and I think there's more after we die. I do think that. I don't think we just go in the ground. From personal experience, there's no way. Or if there is, well, I'm in the ground.
because I've done so many weddings, and probably so have you, whether Greek Orthodox, Catholic,
Yeah.
Protestant, Baptist, so many different religions, and
Mhm.
I grew up as a Protestant, but my wife's Catholic. So,
Yeah.
to get married in a Catholic church, you got to be Catholic. So
Right.
I converted to Catholic,
Mhm.
because as growing up, and they never mentioned like paranormal in church service.
Oh,
Because
no.
anything like that, it's a demon, or you're going to go to hell.
Mhm.
And if you die, you either go straight to heaven or you go straight to hell.
Mhm.
In Catholics, they got the purgatory.
I always laughed because 'cause I'm like, "They got that time in between, and I don't know if I'm cut out for the time in between."
Right. So, like when you see spirits, okay, now we're dealing with spirits,
Mhm.
apparitions, ghosts. I mean, what are they? Are they in betweens? Are they back from whatever, from another realm? Because I had a few guests on here that were one team was their whole team was agnostic, an
Mhm.
atheist.
Okay, yeah.
So they don't believe in moving a spirit on. So what do you move it on to?
I'm curious what they think that spirit is, like, and not rudely, I need to ask someone, like, what do they believe the spirit is
It's
then?
just a spirit. It's not of any realm. It's kind of like, well, as he put it, if you kill what we consider a spirit. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm with you. I never asked that question, but what he explained to me was if you kill that spirit, if you try to move that spirit on, and as we're saying, we move the
You
spirit on.
destroy it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you destroyed or killed that spirit.
So it's not other realm, it's just energy stuck here with us is what he basically kind of.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's interesting. That's
Because
interesting.
spirits are energy, so
Right, right.
you need energy
Mhm,
for your power grids, whatever you're using. How many times have you been on an
mhm.
investigation? Your batteries go
Oh,
dead.
yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Right,
They
right.
like to do that
So
quick.
right. So it's energy. The water underneath is energy. I mean, the gas, the electric is energy.
Mhm.
That's how these sticks pick up these, and the dowsing rounds pick up this energy. That's how they pick up the energy in a room if they cross or go apart.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting, and I'm not on here to say anybody's right or wrong.
I'm with you. I don't know.
We don't know. I mean, I've never been to heaven. I haven't been back.
I was gonna say, not that I recall yet, at least I don't remember going yet and coming back.
One thing before I get off, during writing my book
Oh,
was
yeah.
it dawned on me after telling me I'm a slow learner, but I have a guardian angel. I have to have a guardian
Yeah.
angel because of all these blessings I've had over all these years.
Mhm.
In one part of the book, I just real quick is I was played in a band, and our band was playing out that weekend, and a car followed us back to our bass player's house. And my uncle, who was driving the van, got into the fight the guy was tailgating us, right? And
Oh,
this happened in 1969, 70, around there.
you
And
were in a band in the good days.
right, I still am, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So the guy followed us back to the house, and after they got into this fight out in the driveway, the guy said, "I'm gonna come back with a gun." And we just
Mhm.
said, yeah. Well, the guy drove off. My uncle takes off with the drummer and takes him back to his house. And meanwhile, me and a couple other guys in the band, we're in the driveway because we're spending a weekend at the bass player's house. His parents weren't home for the weekend. So this guy shows back up with a shotgun.
Oh no.
So, and this is a true story. So we got behind the garage door, back then with the four slotted doors.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy blew up two rounds, two of buckshot through
Oh.
this door, blew up in the door, the glass out of the door. Now imagine this: if everything behind you is peppered with buckshot,
Mhm.
left to right, top to bottom, the whole room, and we're not hit one time. It's just, I mean, there were so many instances where the very next day we went to a rock concert, was in our area, and we didn't have enough money for all of us to go get in, so we snuck the bass player in the trunk of the car. Well, it happened to be like 90 degrees out that day. So, can you imagine being in a locked car we forgot about him.
Yeah.
So because there was guards around the car, and the police, and when we parked the car, we said, well, we can't get him out of the trunk now because the cops are.
Right.
We'll come back. Well, then one thing led to another. We got to see like Alice Cooper and all these
So
big bands.
awesome.
At that time, Alice Cooper's on the same bill. Alice Cooper and Chuck Berry and Ted Nugent, all these people were on the same bill. And we're there at the concert, and we got to go behind stage because we act like we were roadies.
Yes.
So we got to meet Alice Cooper's band and behind stage, right?
That is
Well,
so freaking cool.
we're coming out, and the other guy's coming out from the band. He says, and he had a girl for each one of us. Like, here's a girl for you. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Well, where's Alex's girl? We said, Alex. Oh shit. We had ran back to the car. We forgot about Alex. How do you forget about a guy that's in the trunk of your car? So he's in the car for over an hour. He should be dead.
Yeah.
And when we took him out, he was gray, hardly could breathe. And the paramedics had to take him into the tent, and they thought he was naturally a drug overdose. It wasn't. It was heat exhaustion. And
Yeah.
and yet then again, half hour later, he's walking back out of the tent towards us like nothing's wrong.
Mhm.
I mean, how many times, and this happened over and over and over and over. And I had to throw all this into the book because it was like, there's something, and getting back to the shotgun at the garage, the moment he pulled that trigger, before the blast went off, all three of us in the garage seen a shadow figure move in front of us.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what was it? So, I mean, this is just constantly. We went to the library, and I'm trying to get the newspaper article that happened that weekend,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because I made the paper.
I mean, not cool, but cool,
Yeah. So, my thing with a shadow person was way back then.
That started early for you.
Right. And well, actually started when I was 12 in that house, when I seen the girl in the upper window of the house when we pulled in. And
Oh
then again,
wow.
like I say, they pick and choose who they want to show
Mhm.
themselves to. Well, my sister, myself, and a few other family members, but never my mother and father.
Okay,
So,
so mostly like kids, or that
and
was that
my
majority?
two uncles were adults, and
Okay, yeah.
they did not like my one uncle because he was violently attacked by it in the house.
Oh, yeah.
We were never violently attacked. 'Cause I had like kind of some connection with the young girl because she was like
Yeah.
almost my age. Uh,
Oh, wow.
and then we were moving out. Of course, my mother. We're making all this up. There's no ghost. For 5 years,
Of course.
she didn't see nothing. And it was a landlord at the time that said your house was haunted, because my mom
Oh my
had
god.
mentioned that she liked living there, but the kids thought the house was haunted. He looked right over. Oh, but it is. A young girl died in this house. So, it's stuff like that. And after we moved out of the house, and the house became extremely violent. I knew the people that moved in years later.
Oh my gosh.
Where I was working with an individual and he was telling me where he was living at. I said, that's the same house. I never said the house was haunted. I said, that's the same house I kind of grew up in. It's, oh my God, was it haunted when you lived there? I never brought it up. He
Mm,
did. And it's like, oh yeah, it was, but was it violent? So not towards me.
right.
It's extremely violent. Well, then years later, this will come in book 2, is that the house burnt down.
Oh.
But yeah, I still get the chills when I go by the house.
I wonder what happened to the spirits when that happens.
I do know a psychic medium to go over there and just to see if there's anything still there
Yeah.
in the ground, because even though the house is no longer there, I still get that feeling.
Mhm.
It's a strange feeling. I can't explain it.
I understand yeah, there's no explanation when you go by somewhere like that, if you're connected.
Right. So would the house be would it have been the house that they were in, or would it be the ground? As that old
Mhm.
Indian told me years ago, uh, buildings and structures come and go, but that the
Yeah.
land will always be there.
And that's where I think the earth holds everything. It holds all the energy. I mean, even take into magic, if I'm wanting to distribute energy somewhere, I take it to the earth if I don't know what to do with it because the earth knows how to put it back. So it holds so much energy. I'm wondering if it's still with the land, like you said.
Right, because that's what his thinking was, is the land is everything. The spirits from the land,
Yeah.
be it the water, be it the meat, be whatever you're putting
Mhm.
in your body, is spiritually the blessing.
Yes.
I don't know. So it's just,
I'm with you. I think everything has its own spirit. I think that's how it was created. I don't know how it started, but I think it's got energy and
because the
spirit.
first day I met this Indian, on that porch, he was taking a spoon, he was
Mhm.
bringing it way up, letting the coffee drip back down into his cup like 2 feet up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He says, I'm getting the evil spirits out of the coffee,
Uh-huh.
Like, to this day, I still do the same thing.
Yes. Yes.
I
I
still
have
do
a
the same
coffee
thing.
thing too for positive and negative. Yes. I'm with you. I stir in my positivity every morning and stir out the negativity. I'm gonna have to start dripping now.
Yeah,
That's the
just
trick.
go up, let it come back down.
That's awesome. I swear I believe the indigenous people got it right with their spirit connection. I've always said that since I was a child, actually. I think they really got it. That's such a beautiful way to start your day too, like you're getting rid of all the bad.
Well, I do it, and when I don't do it, I feel like, dang it, I just forgot to.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome.
Well, Haley, it's been my pleasure. I will put your links in the bottom of the episode. And
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
all right, and thank you. Hope we talk again.
Yes, I hope so too. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Haley. It was my pleasure having you on the show today. I know we'll talk again in the future. Stay tuned in a couple weeks. I will be traveling to a haunted bridge in my own town here in Ohio. I'll be going to the cemetery where the Night of the Living Dead was filmed in PA. And I have some really cool guests coming up. And we're also going to talk about my book that's going to be coming out this summer. So a lot of things are lined up. I look forward to sharing all this with you. So I'll see you in 2 weeks with another great episode on Ghosts in the Valley podcast.